Henry eagerly awaited the summer vacation. He planned to spend it with his friends, and one evening they decided to have an overnight sleepover in the countryside. Henry and his friends, Michael and Emily, were an inseparable trio. They attended the same school and spent a lot of time together. After much discussion, they settled on spending the night in an old abandoned house that had a reputation for being haunted. The old mansion, known as the Wesley House, was located on the outskirts of town and was believed to be cursed. People spoke of strange and eerie happenings inside, but Henry and his friends dismissed it as mere rumors created by the locals for entertainment. In the evening, when the time came for a peaceful night, Henry invited Michael and Emily to his house to share the plan. He unrolled a map and showed them the Wesley House, explaining that it would be their unique and thrilling adventure. Michael and Emily were slightly hesitant, but their curiosity got the better of them, and they agreed to join Henry. That night, as dark clouds rolled in, the three friends set off on their journey. They arrived at the Wesley House, which looked ominous and dilapidated. The gates creaked as they entered the yard, as if warning them of an impending misfortune. Carefully navigating through debris, they entered the mansion. Inside the Wesley House, an eerie silence prevailed. Losing their usual cheerfulness, Henry, Michael, and Emily entered the main room, which had once been a grand living area. Dust covered the furniture and cobwebs adorned the corners, adding to the atmosphere of neglect and abandonment. Determined to uncover the truth, Henry, Michael, and Emily continued their exploration of the Wesley House. Each room they entered revealed more unsettling secrets, deepening the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. The friends could feel the weight of history pressing down upon them, urging them to unlock the house's dark secrets. As they entered a long-forgotten study, a gust of wind blew through the open windows, causing the candles to flicker. The room was filled with an oppressive silence, broken only by the sound of their own racing hearts. On the desk, they discovered a collection of faded letters, revealing a tragic tale of love and betrayal that had unfolded within those very walls. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, they pressed on, their steps growing more hesitant with each passing room. Shadows seemed to shift and dance, playing tricks on their minds. Strange whispers echoed in their ears, their origin elusive and haunting. With each revelation, their fear escalated, but their determination remained unyielding. They were captivated by the enigma that surrounded them, desperate to unravel the mystery that had plagued the Wesley House for so long. As the night wore on, the friends found themselves drawn to the darkest corner of the house. There, in a hidden chamber, they discovered an ancient occult symbol etched onto the floor. A shiver ran down their spines as they realized they had stumbled upon the heart of the house's supernatural presence. Their collective breaths held, they decided to perform a ritual, hoping to communicate with the entity that lingered within the Wesley House. Candles were lit, and they chanted ancient words they had found in their research, their voices trembling with a mixture of trepidation and anticipation. Suddenly, a chilling wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing the candles and plunging them into darkness. Panic surged within them as a low, haunting voice resonated through the room, filling their souls with dread. The entity had been awakened, and it demanded to be heard. Terrified, the friends huddled together, desperately seeking a way to appease the restless spirit. Memories flooded their minds, and they realized the tragic history that had bound the Wesley House to its supernatural fate. In a moment of clarity, Henry, with a trembling voice, shared their newfound understanding of the Wesley House's past. It had been a place of love and joy, but its inhabitants had succumbed to greed and betrayal. The entity that haunted the house was a tormented soul seeking redemption and release from its eternal torment. Summoning every ounce of courage, the friends vowed to help the spirit find peace. They offered their empathy, acknowledging the pain and suffering that had consumed the entity for decades. Their genuine compassion seemed to touch the ghostly presence as its malevolent energy slowly transformed into a bittersweet melancholy. With a final sigh, the spirit faded away, leaving the Wesley House still and quiet. The dark aura that had plagued the mansion lifted, and a sense of serenity settled upon the worn walls. Henry, Michael, and Emily looked at each other, relieved and forever changed by the encounter. Henry, determined to unravel the mysteries surrounding the house, suggested exploring each room. They cautiously moved through the dimly lit corridors, their footsteps echoing ominously. The air was heavy with a musty scent, and the floorboards creaked beneath their weight. As they ventured further into the house, they discovered old photographs and discarded belongings, hinting at a forgotten past. The walls whispered secrets of bygone days, and each room held a tale waiting to be told. The friends couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as they delved deeper into the mansion's history. In one room, they stumbled upon a hidden door concealed behind a bookshelf. Curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to investigate. The door led to a small, dimly lit chamber filled with dusty tomes and artifacts. They discovered a journal belonging to a previous owner, its pages worn with age. Henry opened the journal and began reading aloud. The words on the yellowed pages described strange occurrences within the Wesley house, tales of disembodied whispers, and inexplicable footsteps echoing through the halls. The more they read, the more the hairs on their necks stood on end. As the night grew darker, the friends couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced on the walls, and a chill ran down their spines. They knew they had stumbled upon something beyond their understanding, something that defied logical explanations. With a mixture of fear and excitement, they made a pact to uncover the truth behind the Wesley house. Little did they know, their sleepover had awakened a dormant presence that lurked within the haunted mansion, and they were about to embark on a journey that would test their courage and challenge their perception of reality. Alex couldn't contain his excitement as he prepared for the sleepover at his best friend's house, Jason. It was a Friday night, and they had planned a night full of movies, snacks, and games. Alex's parents dropped him off at Jason's house, which had always given him a mysterious vibe. As soon as Alex entered the house, he noticed how dimly lit it was. The hallway was lined with old family portraits, their eyes seemingly following his every move. Despite the eerie atmosphere, he brushed off his unease, attributing it to his overactive imagination. Jason's parents greeted Alex warmly and left them to enjoy their sleepover. The boys settled into the living room, surrounded by shelves filled with antique dolls. Alex couldn't help but feel their eyes were piercing into his soul. They started their night with a horror movie marathon. The tension in the room grew with each terrifying scene, and Jason's house seemed to come alive with creaks and whispers. Alex's imagination began to play tricks on him, making him question what was real and what wasn't. During a break, Jason suggested they explore the house. Alex hesitated, feeling a knot in his stomach, but he didn't want to appear afraid. They tiptoed through the dimly lit hallways, their footsteps echoing ominously. As they entered an old study, Alex noticed a dusty book lying open on a desk. Curiosity got the best of him, and he started reading the page. It was a diary entry written by a girl named Emily, who used to live in the house decades ago. The diary spoke of strange occurrences, sleepless nights, and the feeling of being watched. Suddenly, they heard a noise coming from upstairs. Alex and Jason exchanged glances, their hearts pounding in unison. They cautiously made their way upstairs, trying to ignore the uneasiness that enveloped them. They entered a room at the end of the hallway, and their blood ran cold. The room was filled with antique toys, their glassy eyes glinting in the moonlight. The boys shuddered as they noticed one particular doll on a rocking chair, seemingly moving on its own. Without warning, the door slammed shut behind them, sealing them inside. Panic surged through Alex's veins as he struggled to open the door, but it remained firmly shut. They were trapped. As the room grew colder, Alex's mind raced to find a solution. He remembered seeing a set of old keys on a shelf downstairs. With a newfound determination, he and Jason started searching the room for any hidden passages or clues. Just as despair began to set in, Alex stumbled upon a loose floorboard. He pried it open, revealing a small compartment containing the missing set of keys. With trembling hands, he inserted the key into the door's lock, and to their relief, it opened. The boys rushed out of the room, leaving the haunted dolls behind. They raced downstairs and out of the house, gasping for breath as they stood in the safety of the night. They vowed never to enter Jason's house again and return to their own homes, the memory of the terrifying sleepover etched in their minds. Weeks passed since that chilling sleepover at Jason's house, and Alex couldn't shake off the lingering sense of unease. Every creak in his own home made him jump, and he found it difficult to sleep at night. He knew he had to confront his fear and find closure. One day after school, Alex mustered up the courage to research the history of Jason's house. He discovered that it had been built in the early 1900s and had a dark past. Rumors circulated about a girl named Emily, who had mysteriously disappeared while living in the house. Driven by curiosity and a desire for answers, Alex reached out to local historians and even found an old newspaper article about Emily's disappearance. The article described the intense search efforts, but her fate remained unknown. It mentioned how the house had been abandoned for years after her disappearance, as people believed it to be cursed. Armed with this knowledge, Alex decided to visit Jason and share his findings. He found Jason in his backyard, brooding and distant. Alex explained what he had discovered and suggested they confront their fears together by returning to the house one last time. Reluctantly, Jason agreed, recognizing that they needed closure. That evening, as the sun began to set, they approached the old house. The air felt heavy with anticipation, but they pushed forward, determined to unravel the mystery surrounding Emily's disappearance. As they entered the house, they were greeted by the same eerie atmosphere they had experienced during the sleepover. The dolls on the shelves seemed to taunt them with their glassy eyes, but this time, they felt a strange sense of familiarity. Guided by their research, they made their way to the study and found Emily's diary lying on the desk. Alex flipped through its pages, discovering chilling accounts of Emily's experiences in the house. She spoke of restless nights, disembodied whispers, and the feeling of being trapped within its walls. Deep in their investigation, Alex and Jason heard a soft, ethereal voice, barely audible but unmistakably present. It whispered Emily's name, sending shivers down their spines. Following the voice, they ascended the stairs, their hearts pounding in their chests. They entered the room filled with antique toys, and their eyes were drawn to the rocking chair where the doll had moved before. As they approached it, the room fell silent. Suddenly, a soft, melancholic melody filled the air, and the doll began to rock back and forth. Alex and Jason exchanged a knowing glance, realizing that Emily's spirit was still trapped within the house. Empathy and compassion welled up within them as they understood her need for release. They held hands, summoning the courage to confront the unknown. With a voice trembling but filled with determination, Alex spoke to Emily's spirit. He expressed their understanding of her pain and longing, urging her to find peace and move on from this realm. They assured her that they would never forget her and promised to honor her memory. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted, and the room felt lighter. The doll's movements ceased, and the haunting melody faded away. Alex and Jason felt a sense of closure, and a weight lifted from their shoulders. Leaving the house for the final time, the boys looked back, grateful for the chance to help Emily find peace. They knew the sleepover and the subsequent journey had transformed them, deepening their bond and teaching them the importance of empathy and facing their fears.